Good evening. You're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Choudhry. It's been a tough beginning of the year where the India alliance is concerned. Primarily what we've seen is ultimatums being issued by the allies where the Congress is concerned over seat sharing, the Congress dragging its feet initially on seat sharing and the sniping on the state level units. We've seen enough of that with Adhir Ranjan Choudhry in West Bengal taking on Mamata Banerjee. But something changed yesterday. And what was that, viewers? The Congress, in a closed-door meeting with its own committee, which is looking at the alliance and seat sharing, has come up with a conclusion that it needs to step back a little and allow more elbow space where its allies are concerned. They've also come to a basic figure of seats that they want to fight, but are open to negotiations. They've also made it very clear that seat sharing will now happen swiftly and there is no rift. Will they stand to that is the big question.
The biggest battle of 2024 is just months away, and the cracks in India bloc are only widening. Over the contentious issue of seat sharing, the Congress, now looking to bridge the India divide, in a closed-door meeting with its own alliance committee, Congress has decided to make room for its India allies. The party, as per sources, looking to fight 255 seats and leave rest for allies. The biggest hurdle it's facing is from its own state units. In West Bengal, the rift between the Congress and TMC is out in the open. The Congress has branded Mamata Banerjee as Narendra Modi's agent. And in response, the TMC has called the Congress a non-starter in Bengal.
हम लोग ये प्रूव कर दिया दीदी के नेतृत्व में अभिषेक जी जनरल सेक्रेटरी तो पूरा यूनाइटेड टीएमसी कैन बीट भाजपा ये तो एस्टेब्लिश्ड हो गया उस टाइम कांग्रेस किधर थे वो तो वोट डिवीजन करके भाजपा को हेल्प कर रहे थे
हमारे जो सत्तारूढ़ पार्टी है बंगाल की वो कभी इस तरह की गठबंधन नहीं करने वाली है क्योंकि इस तरह की गठबंधन अगर होगी तो सबसे ज्यादा दिक्कत होगी मोदी जी को तीसरे गठबंधन में हर वक्त हर चर्चा में वो रोड़ा डालने की हर संभव कोशिश करते रहेगी
The BJP is milking the political face-off between India bloc allies over seat sharing.
लोकसभा का चुनाव अलग है लेकिन असेंबली चुनाव अलग है इसलिए अधीर रंजन जो बोला दो तो है ही है तो जुट क्यों करूं तो इसलिए बोल सकते उनका मांग का हक है जनता उनका खिलाफ है वो एकजुट होने के बाद कोई फायदा नहीं है
As the snipping at the state level continues, the issue of convener is turning out to be a bone of contention. JDU leaders have hit out at other opposition parties for floating the name of Nitish Kumar as the convener of India bloc.
एक राजनीतिक साजिश चल रही है नीतीश जी के साथ कि उनको बार बार ये कहा जा रहा है कि कब प्रधानमंत्री होंगे कब कन्वीनर होंगे उनको बना दिया जिसमें हमारी इच्छा ही नहीं है जिसकी हम परीक्षा ही नहीं दे रहे हैं तो उसके रिजल्ट के लिए आप हमसे प्रश्न क्यों पूछते हैं
संयोजक का पद का सृजन किसने किया और ये बार बार बोलना कि संयोजक बनाया जाएगा कोई एप्लीकेशन दिए हैं क्या वो कोई वैकेंसी क्रिएट हुआ है क्या इस तरीके का आचरण राजनीति में सही नहीं है
Opposition parties are likely to meet on Sunday, where the two burning issues are likely to figure. Sources say the Congress has prepared a list of seats it wants to contest, but its allies are looking to drive hard bargain. Bureau Report, India Today.
Is time running out? Are there chinks in the India armor? And ultimately, has the Congress finally realized that the seat sharing needs to be swift to try and bridge in any rift where the India alliance is concerned? There's too much that has happened in the last few days. Let's take these questions to our panelists this evening. Joining me, Shazia Ilmi, National Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party, Sujata Paul, Congress Spokesperson, Ghanshyam Tiwari, National Spokesperson, Samajwadi Party, Amitabh Tiwari, Political Analyst. Sujata Paul, let's begin with you on this note. What's happening right now in West Bengal, especially where your own state unit is concerned? Adhir Ranjan Choudhry is no local leader. and constantly taking on your own ally Mamata Banerjee, publicly calling her an agent of no one else but the Prime Minister, how is that going to augur when you go and meet the TMC in exactly a day and a half stand and talk about seat sharing, Sujata Paul?
When we meet on Sunday, it is going to be in an atmosphere of saving the country. So the agenda is very clear that we are fighting for the constitution of this country. And we will protect our constitution at any cost, our democracy at any cost. And that is how we are looking at it. And our senior leaders, when they sit down for this meeting, they will be deciding on the seat sharing. Of course, there are wars of words all over the place, and it is bound to happen. And this is what democracy is all about. And ultimately, when the final results are put before all the parties, everybody is going to accept it. And if you remember, Rahul Gandhi had said earlier also that we are willing to make any compromise. But of course, when you talk about states, there are other issues over there. So one should not look at it in the perspective of only Lok Sabha elections, because the battles which are fought at the assembly level also play a part in these war of words. So I think we should just leave it at that and wait for Sunday, when we will
but
get a
Sujata Paul,
picture.
how do we leave it at just that? Because, you know, what you're going in for is not a state election. It's a national election. And the narrative that you want to go to the people is that you are there to save democracy, you are there to save the country from a dictatorial rule governed by none else but the Prime Minister Modi. That's what your messaging is. But if your very own are calling a Mamata Banerjee the agent of the Prime Minister, then your voters are going to be highly confused.
I think, I do agree with you to a certain extent. But like I said, there are various battles which are fought on the political scene. So one must remember that when we are talking about the Lok Sabha, the final decision rests with the central leadership. And when the central leadership, makes it clear as to which seats are going to be, ours, which are going to go to the others, all our workers are also going to be working with other parties. So I don't think this really makes a difference right now. We've had the same thing happening even with the Samajwadi Party in the past. So it's not like there haven't been war of words.
That's where the question comes into, that's where the question, Sujata Paul, comes into play. How will the votes transfer? The Samajwadi Party knows it's best where its alliance with the BSP, its vote transferred very well to the BSP, but it didn't happen the other way around. And Ghanshyam Tiwari knows it best. So, but having said that, we're going to cut across to Ghanshyam Tiwari, but let's also get in Shazia Ilmi into this conversation. Shazia Ilmi, let's give us, all the bickering, the sniping of the India alliance aside. Yesterday, there was a meeting where at least the Congress has come to a conclusion that the India alliance needs to be put first and then the Congress, that they will give enough elbow room to the alliance, fight a limited number of seats and give an X number of seats to its allies. But let's hark back, Shazia Ilmi, in terms of just figures to 2019. The India alliance, when it wasn't together, cobbled up 144 seats. The N.D.A. got 335 seats. Vote share at that time for the India alliance, when it wasn't together, got 36% and N.D.A. 45%. You might say chemistry lies with you. The India alliance, Shazia Ilmi, can turn around. Arithmetic can be with us if we get this right.
No, Preeti, the arithmetic also changes, because then the contest becomes triangular, quadrangular, and votes get transferred and cadres vote accordingly. With this kind of a half-baked situation, where if you look at, let's go state by state, and let's move beyond platitudes and get into specifics. Now, see, for instance, the warring factions, TMC and Congress. Now, just like TMC wants a better deal for itself, considering it is a stronger party in West Bengal, and wanting Congress to kind of not have a higher stake or claim a higher stake. This is the case that is going to be in Punjab, in Delhi, for Congress party vis-a-vis AAP. The same thing will continue with LDF and UDF in Kerala. Similarly, in other states, I think this will go on. So I don't know how, Congress, is Congress ready to become extinct and get out of the picture to support this alliance? I don't see that happening either. Now, do you see how this pans out? Let's look at Bihar. Do you see how many seats RJD and JDU would want to give Congress? Or now let's look at UP for that matter. How many seats will Akhilesh Yadav, I don't know about Mayawati at all, would be willing to give to Congress party. So if Rahul Gandhi is so committed and he really wants to do Nyaya to this wonderful alliance that he has, they've cobbled together, then he must get himself out of the equation, and the Congress party should be ready to do that harakiri, that goal that, we are out of it for the sake of the country, for the sake of the constitution, and mostly to defeat BJP. That we are ready to get out of the picture, obliterate ourselves and disappear because nobody wants us. So that is the only formula possible. If Congress is willing to do that, well and good. I don't see other parties conceding at all whatsoever in any of the states. You just see, and I went into details of all the states. I can go into more.
No, we'll take that question to Amitabh Tiwari, but let's bring in Ghanshyam Tiwari into the conversation first. But Ghanshyam Tiwari, taking off from what Sujata Paul said, yesterday also we had you on the show and you kept saying all is well. Ultimately, this is a larger fight. But you know what a state-level sniping can actually do? If cohesively the campaign is not working on ground, then there will be political parties which will suffer, which are part of the alliance. You know it best, Ghanshyam Tiwari. Look at your own alliance with the BSP. Your votes transferred to the BSP. It didn't happen vice versa for you.
Good evening, Preeti, to you, my fellow co-panelists and the viewers. Let's start with Bengal itself. For example, Bengal, who is the opposition? Does BJP have a chance in Bengal? Has there any fight back from BJP after their rout in the Bengal Assembly elections? No. So it is expected that two major players in Bengal are trying to increase their bargaining power in an alliance or in a model where they are the sole seekers of majority vote of people of Bengal. The same is true with Punjab. The same is true with several other states. Look at Delhi, for example. BJP has been routed by I.N.D.I.A party in assembly elections and the municipal elections. So it is one thing for BJP to poke holes in the opposition alliance. But when you look at the political situation behind those states where there are conflicting views coming from members of India Alliance.
A small point.
BJP is
I'll come back to you, ma'am. Let him speak. I'll come right back to you after that.
BJP is not a factor. As far as Uttar Pradesh is concerned, let's look at 2022 as a backdrop where SP got nearly 3 crore votes and BJP got 3 crore 80 lakh votes. Yes, the BSP alliance in 2019 did not work out as well as it should have. But flashback 2019, that alliance was the main hurdle that was stopping BJP from an entire all-out campaign. So I believe that the fact that so many parties are coming together, they are unstoppable as an alliance, notwithstanding state bickerings.
You still haven't answered my question, Ghanshyam Tiwari. If this continues, what's your messaging? As per Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, he's the LOP. He's no small-time leader. He says Mamata Banerjee is Modi's agent.
That messaging is detrimental to India Alliance, no doubt. But it also has ramifications mainly in West Bengal than Uttar Pradesh. What Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is saying is not having a ramification on Uttar Pradesh.
Tiwari, what is Ajay Rai saying in Uttar Pradesh?
Right.
And what is Bhagwan Maan saying in Punjab?
What is?
Exactly.
Well, you know that better, Ghanshyam Tiwari, but okay, fine. Ajay Rai is not as big as Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, but okay. Shazia, you wanted to come and make a quick point. I'll cut across to Amitabh Tiwari.
By the same logic, what is Akhilesh Yadav, Ghanshyamji's leader? What is he saying about Congress party? There is a Beiman party, and he's being called a Chirkut party. And what is happening in Punjab? Bhagwan Maan is saying Ek Thi Congress. I mean, one doesn't wish this for one's enemy. Forget an ally. And so I find it very shocking. And also you said that AAP beat BJP. Do you know that BJP's vote share remained the same? And second time around, BJP's vote share increased. It is Congress which got decimated.
But, by that logic, then you're giving a window. No. Shazia, by this logic, if you're looking at vote share, you're giving a window for the Congress right now.
10 seconds. I want to finish.
Okay, make your point.
Punjab, BJP did not even have a stake. And so AAP did not affect BJP because BJP was not a big party. It defeated Congress. So I think, Ghanshyam, you've thoroughly confused about this.
Okay. Shazia, by quoting this example, you're giving a full window to Sujata Paul to come out and say, let's look at the Hindi heartland. Our vote share has increased. That's what she's going to come out and say by quoting the same example that you're quoting.
The vote share has increased. The vote share was more for BJP. It increased from the earlier times. But
But
because
the
there was
Congress
no other
hasn't
party
lost.
in question,
The Congress is saying
that's
we're
why
holding on to our vote share.
that's the point I'm making. I'm
right.
making the
Okay,
same
fine.
point.
Okay, well, let's just.
Similarly, they had a higher vote share, but because
Well,
there was
you know,
no other
but
party,
if you
we
talk
just
about
won.
vote share, it's ultimately who's won the election. The municipal election, whatever it might have been, Aam Aadmi Party's won. You swept the Hindi heartland. Getting into the semantics of vote share, then this conversation can carry on forever. Amitabh Tiwari pulling you into it. You were also with us last night. Now, Shazia Irmi did make important points earlier, which you also echoed yesterday. But in certain states, Amitabh Tiwari, where you know, the fact is, it is an alliance of compulsion. It's an unnatural alliance, especially in states like Punjab, with what's going down in Kerala. But the sheer fact, if the parties fight independently in certain states, it could actually benefit the alliance. If the Aam Aadmi Party faces off with the Congress in a state like Punjab, this could be beneficial for the India alliance. Many political analysts would actually feel. Similarly in Kerala, the left versus Congress.
That is one way to look at it. Actually, in West Bengal, if the CPM joins the alliance of TMC and Congress, then what happens is that the entire anti-TMC vote goes to the BJP. So in a way, that same logic what you're saying is applies to Punjab as well as Kerala. See, Punjab and Kerala, even if they're friendly fights, the good part is that whoever wins will not go and join the NDA. See, there is a history to this as well. Many regional parties who are now part of India bloc were earlier in NDA. You can just count the names. TMC, National Conference, all of these were part of NDA earlier, JDU, Shiv Sena as well. So there is a section within the Congress which is apprehensive of these parties. And leaders like Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary are torchbearers of this kind of a logic, that we help these parties win more seats, but what is the guarantee that these parties will not go and have a truck or understanding with the BJP for the sake of getting better funds from the government? That's number one. Number two, India bloc is a lot about hype and less about substance. On 25% seats, alliance is already in place. Bihar, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Jharkhand. These are not new alliances. 25% seats, no alliance is required, like MP, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, direct BJP versus Congress. 20% of the seats, Telangana, Odisha, Andhra, regional parties are not part of this India bloc. So this alliance is meaningless. The alliance has scope only in UP and West Bengal in terms of bigger states. These are the two states where alliance has some scope. And here also, we are forgetting the experience of Samajwadi Party when it formed an alliance with the Congress in 2017 Vidhan Sabha elections. What happened? 100 seats were given to Congress and its strike rate was 7%. It could win only 7. And then this is also a fact which comes in, that the regional parties are not very sure of Congress winning the seats. And they will be able to transfer, while the reciprocity from Congress party to regional parties may not happen. So these are things which need to be discussed, because this alliance is only for Lok Sabha. If it was a block deal and the alliance was long-term, including the Vidhan Sabha election, then both the parties could have done some adjustments. But since it is just for a Lok Sabha election, that also complicates the matter in most.
All right, Sujata Paul, you know, plausible points that Mr. Tiwari has made there. You know, more hype, less substance.
The fact is that if you saw what happened in the assembly elections is a clear indicator. One, of course, we've retained our vote share, but the second very important point is that in spite of smaller parties being there, the election was almost bipolar. And if you actually look at that, then it also means that the democracy which has been established in this country, people also realize, the smaller parties also realize, and I don't mean by strength, they might be stronger than the Congress party in various states. I admit that. But what I mean is that when Mr. JP Nadda goes to Bihar and says that we are going to finish off the smaller parties, it is not just a message for Bihar, but it is also a message for all the other smaller parties which exist today. And they exist because we've never said BJP Mukt Bharat or somebody else Mukt Bharat. That is the BJP stand, that it should be Congress Mukt, it should be smaller parties Mukt, and it should be one nation, one party. But when you talk about alliances, our alliance is going to be stronger because in whichever constituency we will go, we are going to put our best foot forward and our best candidate forward. That is what the karyakartas of every single party which is fighting the BJP today is wanting. And therefore, what the India Alliance is going to do is what the people and what the karyakartas of all our parties want. And, you know, the larger good
but that's
always overrules.
Fair enough, Sujata Paul, but that's not echoing on ground. Okay, Shazia Ilmi, to bring you in on this, the fact is, somewhere down the line, the alliance has gotten under your skin. Many would suggest, look at the kind of suspensions that you made in the last parliament session. Over 146 MPs across these political parties suspended.
So in no way are they related. And I think the opposition MPs worked very hard. And I think this was the plan. They wanted the party, the current ruling dispensation, to look bad. So there was a note that went around because there was discussion, as we heard the Parliamentary Affairs Minister say. And then we heard the entire thing as to how it was orchestrated to give the impression. And this has not happened for the first time. Whether it's a matter of Rafale or Pegasus, these stories are made of the farmers' bills. And now this. So this is the attempt being made time and time again. They know what are the rules of the House. And so if we indulge in unruly conduct, this would happen. So they got what they wanted. They wanted to give this impression and they asked for suspensions because they broke the rules. I don't know how it's connected with anything at all. They in fact should be happy because whatever.
All right, 20 seconds, Ghanshyam Tiwari, need to wind up the show then. Closing comments, Ghanshyam Tiwari.
You break the rules, you'll be suspended.
No,
Ghanshyam Tiwari, 20 seconds.
Well, Preeti, when we look at the map of India, clearly there are 200 odd seats, as you were also flashing, where between BJP and Congress, BJP got a very high majority, 180 odd seats that where Congress was defeated. If Congress party is able to better that track record by multifold, which is quite possible, then the election story is going to be different. As far as SP is concerned, we have our grassroots mobilization and we are confident about the election.
All right. Okay, we're going to leave it at that because this is a conversation which will definitely carry forward in the days to come. Sunday is the big day where the India Alliance is meeting. Will there be any which way closer to seat sharing? You'll know by the end of the day on Sunday.